Hi, I'm Christina and welcome to the start of another weekly reading vlog. So I'm currently reading The Deathless Girls by Kiran, Millwood, Hargrave, and I read a pretty big chunk of this yesterday on my day off, so I'm up to page 190, which is just over halfway through. And this is actually a very different type of book for me to read. So this is a young adult fantasy, and that is a genre that I read very, very rarely, but I was particularly interested in this one just because of the topic. So this is a origin story of the Brides of Dracula. Now I haven't actually read Dracula, but it is one of those classics that I would like to read one day in the future. But I did see the TV adaptation of it this year and I really enjoyed that. So I thought it would be an interesting book and just be a very interesting take on a classic, and I fancied reading it. So we follow these two main characters, and they are twin sisters, and they're very different in some ways and they're very similar in some ways, and we're just kind of following them on their journey. And yeah, like I say, I'm really enjoying it. Obviously we know where this is going to go. Pretty sure they're going to turn into the Brides of Dracula, and yeah, we don't actually know who Dracula is yet. Well, we haven't met Dracula yet, and you're over halfway through, but it's pretty obvious who Dracula is going to be. So yeah, I'd say if you enjoy like young adult fantasy, I think you'd really enjoy this book. I know it's something I'm quite enjoying, so I'm looking forward to carrying on with this and just kind of seeing where it's going to go. And I think we're just about seeing, there's a little bit of a romance in here as well. So we have a romance with both of the girls with separate people, and I think it's going to be nice to see how those kind of two relationships progress throughout the story, considering, you know, the end result for these two girls, that they're going to end up as the Brides of Dracula. So yeah, looking forward to carrying on reading this one. Hi, so I finished The Deathless Girls and I enjoyed this one. I'm going to give it 3 stars. For me, there was just something missing to give it more than a 3-star rating. And I think what it was is the thing I was most interested in reading about was obviously the origin stories of the Brides of Dracula and finding out how that happened and just finding out more about them as characters. And I felt kind of the ending was rushed a little bit. So hearing how they became the Brides of Dracula's was a very small part at the end compared to the rest of the book. So it had a nice pace going through. It was kind of a kind of slow-paced kind of journey story, and I was enjoying it. And then the end just felt a little rushed to me, about how they became the Brides of Dracula. And then hearing about the third Bride of Dracula, it was just like a couple of sentences just thrown in at the end, and I just wanted more from that. I just wanted to know more about who they were as characters and how that happened. Now, I did really enjoy the gothic style of this, and I have to say the thing that I enjoyed most about this book was the relationship between the two sisters, the love that they had for one another, Kizzy and Lil. It was really lovely to read about, and it was really beautifully written. You know, not only their relationship as sisters, but you know, their friendship as well. They are really good friends, and I enjoyed that. I thought that was nicely done to see that ultimately, like the love between them. There was also a little bit of a love story going on, a little sapphic romance, it was quite nice, but I don't think it was explored fully. It was just kind of on the sidelines, and I get that it wasn't meant to be a romance book, but maybe to explore that relationship a little bit more, I think I would have enjoyed that. And then the other sister has a little bit of a love story too, but ultimately that isn't explored very much either. It's just kind of something that you think was going on rather than like an actual relationship. But I did enjoy it, but like I say, I don't think it's going to be particularly memorable for me. It's just like a nice time, and I enjoyed reading it. But I think if you ask me in 6 months' time, I probably would remember very little, and I probably wouldn't even remember the characters' names. But if you do enjoy YA fantasy, maybe more than I do, you would probably enjoy it more than me. So I also have a book from the library, and they wrap it up really lovely now. Now we're in the highest tier in the UK. They're still allowing the libraries to be open this time. So in our national lockdown back in March, the libraries were closed, and they were closed for months. But now the libraries are remaining open. You aren't allowed to browse the books, but you are allowed to reserve items, and then they will wrap them up for you, leave them on a little table, and then they'll give you a ring and you have to make an appointment to go and pick it up. So it is really COVID secure. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to keep reserving books and still keep using my library as long as I can, because I really missed it when they closed for a few months in the beginning of the year. So as long as it remains open and it remains safe to attend them, I am going to. So this one, I know what it is. How do I get in it? I was so excited when I saw it. This sounds really sad, but when I went into the library and then I kind of spoke to the lady at a distance, and she said they're all over there on the table and they're all wrapped up. I was like, oh, it's like Christmas Day. Why don't you go and pick up yourself a little present? I thought it was so cute. So it is Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata, and this had quite a lot of hype on BookTube, and it just really made me interested in reading it. And I do think for 2021 I would like to read some more translated works, because I've read very little this year. I think the only ones that I did read that have been translated had been translated from Swedish. So this is going to be my first ever book that's been translated from Japanese. So I'm really interested in reading that. I would like to know more about like different cultures and read books from, you know, lots of different places in the world, because the majority of the books that I read are either English authors, American authors, Irish authors, Australian authors. That's about all that I read. Scottish authors. Yeah, so that's all I really read, and I'd like to kind of branch out a little bit more, and like I say, a couple of Swedish ones as well. But no, the majority is kind of British, American, so it would be nice to read a more kind of wide variety in 2021. So this is going to be it. It's going to be the first translated work I read in 2021. And I was really intrigued by this one just because people were talking about it being very heartwarming and being very charming, and I kind of got Eleanor Oliphant vibes from it, which is one of the books I enjoyed most in 2020. And yeah, it's about this woman, and she's 36 years old, and I don't think she's ever really fit in. She's never really felt like she fits in, and she lives in Tokyo, and then she becomes a woman who works at a convenience store, and it kind of gives her a purpose in life, and it makes her feel at peace with herself. And I just thought that sounds like a really lovely little book to read. I had no idea it was so short. It's literally tiny. This is probably going to be the shortest book I've ever read. So let's see what it says on the back. Keiko doesn't fit in. She's 36 years old, she's never had a boyfriend, and she's been working in the same convenience store for 18 years. Her parents wish she'd get a better job. Her friends wonder why she won't get married. But Keiko knows what makes her happy, and she's not going to let anyone take her away from her convenience store. So there's quite a lot of praise on the back as well. So From Vogue said it's a rare treat, a literary prize winner that's also a page turner, brilliant, witty and sweet. And then it's gloriously nutty, irresistible. This novel made me laugh. Absurd, comical, cute, audacious and precise. A deadpan gem. This is a true original, dreamy, quirky, memorable. It could only be Japanese. So yeah, lots of praise for that one. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it actually. It's so quick. How many pages is it? Is it 163? 163. So I should be able to polish that off in one sitting, I think. So yeah. So the final book I read in 2020 was The Deathless Girls, and the first book I'm going to read in 2021 is The Perfect Mother by Amy Malloy. Now, I've actually done a January TBR video, and this is going to be my first TBR video for a couple of months, because for the past few months I've just been mood reading, but I thought I'm going to start the new year with a TBR and yeah, see if I stick to it. So I've got 4 books there, and I'll link that down below in case you'd like to watch it. And then in terms of the end of the year, I'm going to do 3 videos for the end of the year. So the first one I've done, and that one is up, so I will link it down below, is every book I read in 2020. It's just a couple of minutes long, and I just thought it was nice for me to look back on all the books that I read in the year. And then the next one I'm going to do is like a reading statistics for 2020, just kind of breaking things down in terms of genre and stuff like that. And then the third one I'm going to do is going to be my best books of 2020. And yeah, that's the one I still need to film. And I still need to decide on my top books. So I will link my statistics video down below as well, in case you'd like to check that one out. So that's going to be it for 2020, and I'm going to wrap up the vlog here because I actually haven't done a lot of reading in this past week or so. So this is like a fortnightly reading vlog, and honestly, I've read very little. So I'm going to wrap it up here, and I will see you in my next video. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.